Welcome to our pronunciation series. Today we're tackling something that can be quite tricky, even for advanced learners: silent letters in English. These letters are present in the spelling of a word, but they aren't pronounced, which can lead to confusion. Let's jump into some of the most common silent letters, explore the rules, and practice saying these words correctly. Let's start with the silent E. The final E in a word is silent but plays a crucial role. It often affects the vowel sound in the word. For example, compare cap and cape. Notice how the silent E at the end of cape changes the pronunciation of A from a short sound to a long one. Some other examples include make, hope, and cake. The E isn't pronounced, but it makes the vowel long. However, English loves exceptions. In words like recipe and fiancé, the final E doesn't follow the usual rule. Be aware of these exceptions as they often come from other languages. Next, let's talk about the silent K. When K appears before N at the beginning of a word, it's always silent. For instance, knee, knife, and knock. The K isn't pronounced at all. Try these words: kneel, knit, knot. Luckily, there are no exceptions here. If you see a K before N at the start of a word, you know it's silent. Now let's move on to silent B. When B comes after M or before T, it's silent. Common words include comb, thumb, and debt. The B isn't pronounced, making these words a bit smoother to say. Try these words: bomb, climb. But watch out. In words like obtain, the B is pronounced. Next, we'll talk about silent H, which can be a bit tricky. In words like hour, honor, and honest, the H at the beginning is not pronounced. Here are a couple of examples with silent H: air, herb. But don't get too comfortable. There are exceptions. In words like hotel and historical, we do pronounce the H. The context often determines the pronunciation, especially with words borrowed from other languages. The silent W occurs when it comes before R at the beginning of a word, as in write, wrist, and wrestle. The W is not pronounced, so it's important to focus on the R sound. Other examples are wrinkle and wrap. When G appears before N at the beginning or within words, it's silent. For example, gnome, gnat, and sign. The G isn't pronounced, but it's there in the spelling. Now try design and resign. There is an exception with this one. In the word GNU, the G is actually pronounced, so be careful with that one. The silent L can be found after A or before F or M. Words like come, half, and salmon don't pronounce the L. It's something you have to remember because it's not intuitive. Now try these: palm, yoke. But don't forget about exceptions like halo, where the L is pronounced. When T appears in the middle of some words, it's often silent. Words like listen, whistle, and fasten are good examples where the T isn't pronounced. Give these a try: soften, castle. But be aware of words like catastrophe, where the T is pronounced. Silent P shows up before S, T, or N at the beginning of a word. For instance, psychology, pneumonia, and we see it at the end of the word receipt. Now try psyche, pterodactyl. Also, there aren't any exceptions for this rule. Finally, the silent D often occurs in the middle of some words. Examples include Wednesday, handsome, and edge. The D is silent, making the pronunciation smoother. Now try pledge, bridge. One exception is advertisement. The D is clearly pronounced. Mastering silent letters takes practice, but understanding these rules and exceptions will help you become more confident in your pronunciation. Keep practicing and don't get discouraged by the exceptions. They're just a part of what makes English such an intriguing and interesting language. See you next time.